Have you ever imagined that one of the biggest healthcare and pharmacy giants in America, CVS Health, would be exposed in a Medicare fraud scheme worth hundreds of millions of dollars? And here's the twist. This scandal wasn't uncovered by a government investigation, nor by auditors. No, it all began with a regular employee, someone brave enough to speak up. Yes, this is the story of CVS Caremark, ordered to pay $290 million after a former Aetna employee blew the whistle on a massive fraud. The story begins. Let's rewind back to 2014. A woman named Sarah Benke, an actuary at Aetna, the insurance company owned by CVS, was crunching numbers day after day. Her job seemed dull to most, analyzing risks, calculating costs, preparing reports. But in the middle of those spreadsheets, Sarah noticed something strange. The drug prices reported to Medicare, the federal health insurance program for seniors, didn't line up with reality. On paper, the drugs looked more expensive than what CVS Caremark was actually paying pharmacies. If this was true, then the government was being overcharged. And we're not talking about small change. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer money. So how did it work? CVS Caremark made deals with pharmacies like Walgreens, Rite Aid, and even CVS stores under something called the Generic Effective Rate Program. These deals meant they paid lower prices for generic drugs. But when it came time to report prices to CMS, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, those discounts magically disappeared. The result? Medicare believed drugs cost more than they really did and paid CVS Caremark extra. This wasn't an innocent mistake. According to Judge Mitchell Goldberg, it was intentional, financially motivated, and it directly damaged the integrity of the Medicare system. Sarah Benke decided she couldn't stay silent. She turned to the False Claims Act, a Civil War-era law that allows citizens to sue on behalf of the government if they uncover fraud. And here's the kicker. If the lawsuit succeeds, the whistleblower can receive 15 to 30% of the money recovered. It was no longer just a corporate issue. It became a full-scale legal showdown. The historic ruling. Fast forward to June 2025. After years of litigation, a Pennsylvania federal court delivered an initial verdict. CVS Caremark owed $95 million. But wait, under the False Claims Act, damages can be tripled if fraud is proven. So on August 20th, 2025, the final judgment came down. $285 million in treble damages, $4.87 million in civil penalties. Total, nearly $290 million, a jaw-dropping sum that shook the healthcare world. What about the whistleblower? Now, here's the part that really grabs attention. Because the government didn't directly intervene, Sarah Benke could claim up to 30% of the recovery. That means she could walk away with almost $87 million, from a quiet office job buried in spreadsheets to a multi-millionaire simply because she chose to expose the truth. Some might say she did it for the money, but think about it. Without Sarah, this fraud could have continued for years, bleeding Medicare of millions more. CVS strikes back. Of course, CVS Caremark isn't accepting defeat. They announced plans to appeal. The company argued that drug price reporting is extremely complex, full of technicalities, and the ruling was unfair. But with strong evidence against them, and the judge making it clear this wasn't a mistake but a deliberate scheme, most experts believe CVS faces an uphill battle. Not the only scandal. And here's the kicker. This isn't even the only fraud case CVS has faced this year. Just 1 month earlier, in July 2025, another CVS subsidiary, Omnicare, was hit with a staggering $949 million penalty in a separate fraud case. Add them together, and in less than 2 months, CVS has been ordered to pay $1.24 billion, a financial and reputational disaster. But beyond the billions, this case raises a bigger issue: trust. Medicare isn't just a government program. It's a lifeline for tens of millions of seniors and people with disabilities. If CVS Caremark can cheat the system, the obvious question is, how many other loopholes are still out there? And if pharmacy benefit managers, the so-called gatekeepers of drug prices, can manipulate numbers, how can taxpayers trust that their money is being used fairly? The human side. At the heart of this story is the power of one individual. Sarah Benke proved that sometimes a single person with courage can take on a corporate giant and win. She risked her career, her reputation, and years of her life in court, but in the end, she forced accountability. Closing call to action. So what do we learn from this? That no corporation is above the law. Even the biggest names in healthcare must answer for their actions when they put profits above people. Now the big questions are, will CVS succeed in their appeal? Or will this stand as one of the darkest chapters in their history? And here's a question for you. If you were in Sarah's shoes, would you blow the whistle? Or would you stay silent to keep your job safe? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss more deep dives into the biggest scandals in business and healthcare.